Question Nation, Sanbonan Bafetu, and welcome back to Football Trends with me, OQB. Now, on today's video, I have some unbelievable, shocking news, but it's something that we need to talk about because it's there and we have to talk about it. But first things first, obviously, before we touch on Khanyisa Mayo, because I know you know definitely which we are going to talk about Khanyisa Mayo, and then also let's just quickly touch on Ndabaka Blom and some of the injuries that we currently have squading. So first things first, before I get into more details, video. That's the very important part. Like a video, and then you make sure you subscribe to the channel. If this is your first time seeing Football Trends with QP, and also click a bell notification so that whenever I post a new video you get notified, and then you can even share WhatsApp status wherever you want to share the video. Just click the link there or the share button there screening, and then you just share the video to anyone who you would want to listen in on those news that I have for you guys on today's video. Okay, I don't know where to start the video, but let's just quickly start with Unjabulo Blom, I believe, because it looks like Unjabulo Blom Bafetu is or might be leaving the club, because according to the latest reports, it looks like the club as a whole is not convinced by his performances. He's not been that player who they thought Duguti is going to be, and Nami, I thought he was going to be that player, but unfortunately it looks like he is not fulfilling those wishes that we had for him. So it looks like even though he's a versatile player, he can play as a right back, he can play center back, defensive midfield, it looks like it won't work for him, because definitely the club is not convinced. He even failed to squad with starting 11. So this is the reason why we might see Unjabulo Blom end of the season leaving, going back to MSL Nakona. I don't know whether he's going to finish his contract there or it will depend on the situation and what they agree on. But so far, all I can say is that Unjabulo Blom, we just have to say goodbye. I don't know about you guys, but it looks like he still has a chance, before he pay the season, he can try to prove himself as a redeemer, so that he can be able, to remain at the club. Because Kumbule, when we loaned him from EMSL, we had an option to buy him, so it was not just a loan, but we also had an option to buy him permanently. But like I've said, earlier on, we should allow the coach to do what the coach thinks needs to be done. And then let's move on to the injury list. I don't think I have to go much into that, because we've talked about a lot of players who are injured. I've heard someone ask me about Samuel Zwane the other day, saying Coach Nabi is bad. I've no Koslami. Samuel Zwane, just like I've reported, he's injured, currently injured. We know about Rosla, they are injured. We know Untwari is injured. We do know Tabo Tselenai is one player we might not get to see when we play against the Sundowns for the Nedbank Cup. So there's a lot of players who are injured, who might not make it. Even Inaso Miguel, I'm not too sure whether he's going to make it to Imesh Yango Sunday, because according to my report, it doesn't look promising. Bafetu. I wished we could have him, because what I saw from Edmondson Dove coming in as a super sub, it was not pretty, to be honest. But Nakona, I think we were just unlucky. I do not want to blame him that much. It's something that could have happened to anyone. We need to find the Monty guy. But anyways, let's move on. Now we get to the exciting part. Hey. It's exciting because it's the news that obviously a lot of you will be excited about. But for me, it's something else. It's something else entirely, Bafetu. When you look at the situation of Khanyisa Mayo, this guy, we wanted to sign him. Kaizer Chiefs was not the last club You know, I know Kaizer Chiefs and also Mamelodi Sundowns were interested in signing Khanyisa Mayo, the first team being Kaizer Chiefs and then Sundowns being the second team, because they saw it, okay, you know, man, what happens whenever Kaizer Chiefs is interested in a player, Sundowns will also be interested in that player just to sign the player. And then Singam Tuli, you know, I've said it even on today's video, would say that is exactly what happened with Khanyisa Mayo. That is something that also happened with some of the other players who I'm not going to mention because list is by Ning Buffet too. It's a long list. Now we as I'm sure now in a become Bugili, you know, of a player who was supposed to join us, but they couldn't join us because of a certain situation. But anyways, as a collab, so if when we go back to last season, I believe last season before, I think yeah, around that time, but before Khanyisa Mayo left, I know Kaizer Chiefs were up and high trying to sign Khanyisa Mayo. The only problem, they said Kaizer Chiefs came late. The agent Ake when revealed the news on Metro FM, Lapana no Andy Loma Mazola, I think, was also there in the studio. They talked. One thing I love about me is that I still have proof, so I'm going to kulmanga something that you might think no, QP is just making this up. I remember they said it had to do with Kaizer Chiefs came late, like they came seconds after they signed, but it's not like they didn't know that Kaizer Chiefs was interested in signing Khanyisa Mayo. So for me, I was not sold, to be honest. I was not sold by the story. It felt like Khanyisa Mayo just wanted to go abroad, and now it looks like reports coming in from ITSK Times, they say that ECRB, where he joined, is now open to selling him. They just signed him, but manje he did not even finish the season. Let's just quickly go back to Sizu to Pasha Michaels. What did she say, so that we can have both the proof that I'm talking about, and then I will tell you why as Khanyisa Mayo wanting to join Kaizer Chiefs if ever he's interested, or if ever Kaizer Chiefs is going to approach ECRB for Khanyisa Mayo. I will let you know one thing that you need to know when we go back to that video.
Was there the sort of interest that we thought there was in Maya? Because I didn't understand why he was still there for as long as he was. Was there a lot of genuine interest in him?
Yes, there was.
Locally?
Yes, there was. Both from Sundowns as well as Chiefs. I do know that Chiefs had also put down a significant financial offer for Khanyisa a few months before we had actually penned our deal to CRB.
So Sundowns fell out at some point?
Sundowns didn't necessarily fall out because they didn't come to the party, if I can call it, during this window. It was the window before we actually signed.
What about Kaizer Chiefs? Did they get close to that amount? Was the deal on paper solid?
I do think that had the deal fallen out with CRB, Khanyisa would have gone to Chiefs, yes.
What did the player want?
He wanted what we would call the best outcome for himself. That's
money monthly in the bank account for himself.
Not necessarily. It wasn't a money thing. I can tell you Khanyisa wanted to go to Chiefs. There's no question about it. You know, I mean, his father played for Chiefs, so he had a little bit of heritage for him. But he always wanted to leave South Africa.
Okay.
That much is something that he had said to me. I mean, I'd been managing Khanyisa since 2018. It's something that he'd always expressed to me, to be like, I'm going to leave the country. I won't be playing football in South Africa, kind of thing. And I was like, okay, cool. Then it's up to you to make the performance happen. And if you do that, then I'll do everything else. And here we are today.
So Chiefs fell short simply because of the valuation of the player, not because of anything else.
I think Chiefs fell short in that they were seconds too late from the offer that was made by CRB. That's the reality. And from CRB, Khanyisa does have an opportunity to move into Europe, you know. So at Chiefs, I'm not saying he wouldn't move from Chiefs to Europe, but it would be a lot harder for him to move from Chiefs to Europe. He would need a season to make a great name for himself, a second season to prove that he's not a one-hit wonder. And by then, he's 27, you know. Whereas he does something amazing at CRB for the first season, I can tell you that there will be suitors within the European market that come knocking for him.
Now, Mbogeli, if you listen carefully to what Obasha Michaels is saying when it comes to a contract or the deal that was supposed to be signed by Khanyisa Mayo. If it fell through, then obviously he would have joined Kaizer Chiefs, meaning he's making Kaizer Chiefs a second option. For me, Bafetu, I'm not too sure whether I would like for this guy to come to National. But if it's the coach that is interested in signing him, because I'm reports they are saying Kaizer Chiefs is interested again, on signing Khanyisa Mayo. But I'm not too sure whether it's the coach that is interested in signing the guy or Wenzagalana. But you can clearly see to Khanyisa Mayo, Kaizer Chiefs was never his first priority. His priority was making sure Utiena he goes to Europe, where he wanted to go and play. Unfortunately, it looks like things are not working out for him. I do believe he's doing great wherever he is. He's playing beautiful football, because in the last games I do think he was doing exceptionally well. I even saw his first goal, second goal, but now I'm not too sure what is happening with him. I haven't even checked, because ever since I told her that mindset, this guy actually did not want to play for us. He just made us a second option. As well, okay, if ever my deal doesn't go through, then yes, there's a team, a PSL team in South Africa that is more interested in signing me. So, Asaz, what are you guys saying in terms of Khanyisa Mayo? Do you think Kaizer Chiefs should revisit Khanyisa Mayo to sign him, or should we just look for better options? I do not know. You can let me know what you think down in the comment section below. I believe this is it. Thank you so much for watching. Bafetu, I will see you in the next one. Peace.